Coyote Pass. Finally, Redivided. A new era for the sister wives? Hello there, guys. Before we begin, don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell icon so you never miss a post. Now, let's begin. There's been a big change in the current drama of Coyote Pass, the 14-acre Arizona property that's been a focal point of drama for the Sister Wives clan. Those of you who've been keeping track know this property was initially bought back in 2018 with grand hopes. Kody Brown planned to construct a majestic homestead where his whole polygamous brood could reside together in bliss. But, as we've all seen over the seasons, things didn't quite go as planned. Instead of becoming a peaceful retreat, Coyote Pass became a battleground. Tensions grew over time, especially after Christine Brown made the bold decision to leave Kody and the family. Not long after, both Janelle and Meri followed suit, leaving Kody with only one remaining wife, Robyn. Now, in a shocking twist, Kody has officially redivided Coyote Pass property. In a report from Starcasm, property records indicate that, as of March 27th, the land was legally divided into new portions. Kody and Robyn now share 50% together, and Janelle and Meri both get 25%. That's a big change from the old setup, where Janelle and Meri had been allocated noticeably smaller portions. For background, Christine had been purchased out of her interest upon her departure, so the other four were left to figure out the ownership and all the attendant legal entanglements. In principle, this re-splitting is more than legal definition. It's a sign of something more fundamental shifting in the family dynamics. It finally brings some equality to an issue that's long been contentious. For Janelle particularly, this was a large concession. Throughout season 19, she raised grave concerns and stated she'd be seeking legal counsel to protect her rights. She even urged Meri to do so. Good call, given how things were playing out. Let's rewind a bit. Remember when Kody came up with the idea to build one big house on Coyote Pass for all the wives and kids? At the time, he painted it as a dream. But for some of the women, Christine in particular, it was more like a red flag. She didn't feel heard or respected. That idea, among other things, helped push her to leave. So ironically, what Kody had seen as his family's forever home became the start of its demise. His dream? A nightmare. But now, with the land more equitably divided, it appears that everyone involved can at last catch their breath and move on, without the impending fear of someone being shortchanged. Meri Brown clears the air. I didn't introduce Robyn to Kody. Meanwhile, Meri Brown has a secret she particularly wants Sister Wives viewers to know. And it's all about the meeting between Kody and Robyn. In the new one-on-one special during season 19, host Sukanya Krishnan raised a hot fan theory. Did Meri introduce Robyn to Kody? Meri didn't bat an eye. I didn't introduce Robyn to Kody, she stated flatly. Sukanya was flabbergasted. You didn't? She asked. No, Meri said again. There is this entire big thing floating around on Twitter today that I did, but I didn't. Meri sets the record straight. She didn't introduce Robyn to Kody. Let's get one thing straight, shall we? In her private conversation with host Sukanya Krishnan, Meri Brown paused to debunk a rumor that has been circulating, particularly on social media. The story? That Meri introduced Robyn to Kody Brown. Meri didn't mince words. I did not introduce them, she insisted. Now, it's true. Meri was the first of Kody's 4 wives, and over the years, we've seen Christine, Janelle, and even Meri herself eventually part ways with Kody. That left Robyn as his only remaining wife. But as Meri explained, when they first crossed paths with Robyn, she and Kody were still very much together. Here's how it happened, according to Meri. She and Kody were driving through their neighborhood when they noticed some friends and neighbors standing outside talking one day. They pulled over to greet them. As Kody chatted with Robyn's cousin's husband, Meri chatted with Robyn. The two women immediately hit it off. We kind of felt this connection, Meri explained. Kody, in an interview of his own, supported his account, although he did put his spin on things. Meri made a connection with Robyn, he explained, and Robyn and I were kind of avoiding each other at first. Nonetheless, he confessed that he was certainly interested and even went so far as to try to determine if Robyn was available. And here's the kicker. He couldn't help but keep staring at her. Turns out, that wasn't even the initial meeting he had with her. The actual first meeting? At church. Kody remembered noticing Robyn sitting by herself. I thought she was about 28 or 30, he explained. I looked at her, and I just couldn't take my eyes off of her. It was like I was in a trance. Robyn finally broke the stare, shattering him back to reality. So they didn't talk then. But the chemistry had already begun to ignite. Later, when they finally did talk, Meri actually encouraged Kody to go for it. She was like, "Robyn's cute," and pushed him forward gently. That encouragement didn't end there. When the three, Meri, Christine, and Kody, went to a local dance, Christine left early, and as the evening was coming to a close, Meri made a surprising recommendation. "You should go dance with Robyn," she said to Kody. He did. And in Kody's words, it was like a scene straight out of a movie. It was like the world just melted away, he recalled. Like we were just the two of us on that dance floor. They talked like they were old friends. Robyn was vulnerable, honest, a little vulnerable. And that really hit him. There was depth to our connection, he said. Something I don't think I've ever experienced before. Asking him if he had that kind of moment with any of his other wives, Kody replied, "Not that I remember. With them, it was more a practical thinking process." Would Kody and Robyn ever try polygamy again? That gets us to a question long on the minds of fans. Now that it's down to just Robyn and Kody, would they ever go back to the polygamous lifestyle that made Sister Wives such a household name? It's an understandable question. When Sister Wives originally aired on TLC in 2010, audiences were intrigued by the unusual dynamic between Kody and his four wives, Meri, Janelle, Christine, and Robyn. The reality show provided a unique insider glimpse into a way of life that most had never seen firsthand. However, after 18 seasons, that originally intact family has come apart. So where does Kody and Robyn stand now? We'll dig deeper into that part of the story in upcoming sections. So stay tuned. Kody closes the door on polygamy for good after 3 divorces and raising 18 children. Kody Brown is now legally married to just one woman, Robyn, whom he married back in 2014. In a recent interview with Yahoo, Kody got candid about how he feels these days about plural marriage. And it's clear he's not looking back. "I don't care about plural marriage anymore," he said. "I don't want to chase another woman. I don't want the headache, the questions, the struggles, the worrying about trust. I'm just not in that place anymore." If that wasn't explicit enough, Kody also spoke with E! News, where he reiterated his sentiments, asked if he'd ever go back to the polygamous life that once characterized his existence, and the Sister Wives franchise. His response was direct. "Hell no. And I'll tell you why," he continued. "Because we already failed. I would never try plural marriage again." Nevertheless, even as things did not go as planned, Kody claimed to have no regrets. "I'm glad we had the experience," he told himself. "I'm glad I got all those children. I'm glad I have this relationship." Now focused solely on his life with Robyn, Kody took a moment to look back with some wistful honesty. "It's all over, and we're all old," he said. And it's like, holy cow, look at all that wasted time. Robyn's worries. Is one wife enough for Kody? As for Robyn, things aren't quite so black and white. In her own interview with E! News, she admitted that being Kody's only wife has brought up some concerns. "I've had some worries about whether having just one wife would really be enough for him," she said. "He's been living this other way, polygamy, for so long. Now that the family structure has shifted so dramatically, Robyn is still seeking reassurance. I kinda need to know if we're okay," she confessed. "I just want to make sure that this works for us." In her mind, the big question still lingers. Is this it? Or is there a chance that they might try to return to plural marriage in the future? Robyn conceded that this was not the way she thought her life would go. "I had a different plan," she murmured. "I thought I'd be in a plural marriage. I envision myself in a big picture, a big family. That's been taken away from me. Even so, Robyn made it clear she still sees Kody as the person she's meant to be with. I feel like people who've only known him in the last 3 or 4 years. They've only seen a certain version of him, she explained. But right now, this is probably the hardest version of him I've ever known. And through it all, she's standing by him. I wouldn't trade him for anything, she said sincerely. No matter what, I'd always choose Kody. Kody and Robyn's romance. The breaking point no one wanted to see. If Sister Wives Season 19 and its expose tell-alls have taught us anything, it's this. The destruction of the Brown family wasn't all about polygamy. It was also about favoritism, priorities gone awry, and a love that didn't play by the same rules as everyone else's. At the center of the storm, Kody and Robyn's relationship. In hindsight, their bond had seemed incredibly intense, and, to be honest, a bit too inappropriate in the framework of plural marriage. The other wives picked up on it. So did viewers. And now, courtesy of some unfiltered admissions, it's coming into focus that how Kody and Robyn's romance started might have spelled the start of the end for the whole clan. One of the most telling moments was when Janelle Brown spoke candidly about her first days with Kody. And what she said? "If I had a year with Kody," she confessed, "I'm not sure I would have married him, honestly." Let that settle in. Janelle, the practical, dependable one, told me that if she had more time, she might have looked beyond the charm. It was an unusual moment of emotional openness from a woman who tends to keep her cards close. She went on to say, "In any case, I don't have to turn back and ruin all that was. If I said, 'Oh, I'm terribly sorry I did it all,' would I be here in this wonderful place today?" Her observations weren't solely about her own experience. They were a subtle reminder that Kody didn't treat all of his wives equally from the beginning. And that discrepancy? It sowed the seeds of pain and resentment that would eventually come to fruition in 3 failed marriages. A courtship that broke the mold and broke hearts. Let's turn it back a notch. When Kody met Robyn, he was already married to 3 women and attempting to keep a large, busy household running in Lehi, Utah. But rather than being respectful and fair, he dove headfirst into a new romance. The rest of the family? They were left in the background. Starting from Season 1, fans saw that courtship happen. Long-distance visits, hours of flirtatious phone calls, and let's not forget that kiss prior to marriage that blindsided the other wives. It was a stark difference from how he'd courted the other wives. In the recent tell-all interview, Janelle was not shy at all. She highlighted how long and drawn-out Kody and Robyn's courtship was in comparison to what the rest of the wives had gone through. "It's just not suitable for a married man to have a lengthy courtship," she said matter-of-factly. They courted nearly a year. And while they were at it, Christine was pregnant with their child. Janelle worked full-time to help provide for the family. But Kody was away, developing a relationship with Robyn that resembled and felt closer to monogamous than plural. This wasn't love. This was a big switch in priorities. Kody was devoting his time, energy, and heart to Robyn, while continuing to insist everyone else still pretend to have one huge, happy, plural family. Robyn finally admits what everyone already knew. Years ago, Robyn attempted to be the peacekeeper. She said she loved them all, wanted the family to succeed, and wasn't getting preferential treatment. But in Season 19's All Tell, she finally uttered the thing that everyone suspected for decades. She confessed the truth, and suddenly, decades of tension at last felt justified. Robyn's luggage rack privilege, and the moment the illusion cracked sometimes. It's the little things that expose the greatest truths. In a very telling revelation at Season 19's tell-all, Robyn Brown attempted to downplay a seemingly innocuous moment. But to viewers and Kody's former wives, it was just another indication of where she really stood in the family pecking order. The moment? A luggage rack. When the family went on trips, Kody always reserved the luggage rack for himself, except when Robyn traveled with him. Then, inexplicably, it was all hers. When questioned why she received the privilege that none of the other wives ever had, Robyn gave a non-specific shrug. Perhaps I put my bags up there first. I don't know. It's not a big deal. But for Meri, Janelle, Christine, and us at home, it was a big deal. Because it wasn't about just a bit of furniture. It was symbolic. Robyn received the VIP treatment, the birthday surprises, the Valentine's Day love, the considerate gifts for her children consistently. She didn't merely marry Kody. She received the version of Kody that the other wives never did. And all while she spent years boasting that she desired peace, oneness, and sisterhood, she richly profited most as the family dissolved. Because the actual problem wasn't merely that Robyn was the favored wife, it was that she got to continue being the favorite even as she declared she wasn't. One low-key denial that salted centuries of open wounds. A story retold and at last corrected. As Sister Wives Season 19 ended, host Sukanya Krishnan asked about a landmark moment in Brown family history, how Kody met Robyn. Her explanation didn't ring true. Suki proposed that Meri had met Robyn first and brought her over to meet Kody, nearly suggesting she acted matchmaker. That floored Meri. With a cool but firm voice, Meri set the record straight, telling, "That's not how it happened." According to Meri, she and Kody met Robyn together on the same day. Robyn wasn't some friend from Meri's past. She was a stranger, someone they both encountered for the first time, together. This clarification matters because for years, the family has stood by this same story. In their co-authored book, Becoming Sister Wives, all 5 spouses gave their accounts of how they met. Nowhere in that book does it mention Meri met Robyn by herself. The real version? Meri and Kody were driving one day. They drove by a friend's house, where folks were sitting in the yard visiting. Robyn was there, loading up her car with her children, getting ready to leave. That was it. That was when Kody and Meri saw her for the first time. And the rest, as they say, is history. It's astonishing and really a bit annoying that the host of Sister Wives got so big a chunk of the family's backstory wrong, particularly when it had been laid out clearly in their book for years. Meri didn't allow the confusion to stick. She retold the story the way it had always been told, without flair, but with quiet insistence on getting things straight. From the least of privileges to the redefinition of individual history, Season 19 of Sister Wives established one thing irrevocably. This family began with togetherness, but along the way, that cohesiveness broke apart. And once reality began to spill out, it could not be reassembled. The truth about that first meeting. Meri sets the record straight. Meri Brown's moment of truth arrived when host Sukanya Krishnan asked the pointed question, "Do you ever regret bringing Robyn into Kody's life?" Without hesitation, Meri shot back, "I didn't bring Robyn into Kody's life." Suki stared aghast. "You didn't?" That moment, recorded on camera during the Sister Wives Season 19 tell-all, was Meri's moment of defiance. A strong correction to a story that had been skewed, misremembered, and shared like wildfire on social media. "There's this whole big thing on the Twitter sphere now that I brought him to," Meri described. "I did not introduce them." She recalled the actual moment in plain, straightforward language. She and Kody were driving home on the road when they noticed friends and neighbors outside. Among them, Robyn, loading up her car with her children. That was it. No matchmaking, no setup, no agenda. They met her together, and it was all Kody's decision after that. This isn't about who brought who to whom. It's about accountability. It's about getting the record straight. Because for years, fans and even co-stars have wondered if Meri somehow masterminded the ill-fated marriage that altered their lives. But Meri, with a firm calmness, would no longer bear that cross. That church stare that changed everything. Even prior to the driveway debut, there had been a moment that Kody and Robyn never did forget. They had locked eyes from across the room at church. No conversation, just a look, a hard, electric glance that, as Kody described, changed his life. They did not talk, but something was transferred between them. An electricity, a spark. In retrospect, that quiet moment at church quite possibly was the flame that ignited the fire. Because what began with a look developed into a relationship that would ultimately shatter a whole family. And unlike every other wife who had to fight for Kody's attention, Robyn was given it right away, unapologetically, unfairly. Polygamy is over for good. Today, Kody Brown isn't merely finished with polygamy, he appears incinerated by it. In the season finale's showstopper final episode, he was candid with Suki. Hell no. I would never attempt plural marriage again. His tone was not one of anger, it was one of finality. We already failed. It slapped me in the face. He continued, I don't want to chase after another woman. I don't want the headache, the questions, the struggle, the wondering about trust. I'm not in that place anymore. But even with so much hurt and heartache, Kody did not express regret. Rather, he couched it in terms of a worthwhile, if challenging, life chapter. I'm glad we had the experience. I'm glad I got all those children, and I'm glad I have this relationship. The relationship he's talking about, of course, is Robyn. Robyn's bittersweet reality. But even Robyn acknowledges that this isn't what she had in mind. I had a different plan for my life, she said, confessing. I was going to live a plural marriage. I was going to be part of a big family. That fantasy? Forgotten. Ripped apart by divorce, distance, and disillusionment. Despite it all, though, she's not leaving. She stays committed to Kody, stating, Kody is enough for me. I wouldn't trade him for anything. She's aware the world perceives her to be the villain, the woman who destroyed the family. But she's refusing to back down. Not from the backlash. And not from her husband. For better or for worse, Robyn is standing alone. The story of sister wives may have started as a tale of unity and spiritual love. But by the end of season 19, all that's left is one couple, a few painful truths, and the wreckage of what once was a family. Meri's gentle push, and the domino that fell. While Meri may,